How to Pray series. Episode 4. How to pray for your pastor or prophet.
Alright friends, my name is Reverend Sumfianko, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to pray for your pastor, your man of God, or your prophet of God. As a believer, you have a responsibility to pray, not just for yourself and your family, but you should consistently be praying for your pastor. And one of the questions I get all the time is that, man of God, what do I pray for my pastor about? Because sometimes it looks like he has everything, and sometimes it looks like he is the anointed one. Sometimes it looks like he is in a place where he should be praying for people. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 secrets to the things that you should be praying for your man of God. The first thing that you ought to be praying about concerning your man of God is that they will be delivered from wicked and unreasonable men. That they will be delivered from wicked and unreasonable men. We live in a generation where many people want to just crucify people just because of the gospel. Today, sometimes it becomes even uncomfortable when you are introducing yourself as a reverend, as a prophet, as a pastor, because of the things that goes on in the world. Doctors make so much mistakes, and yet people still revere the office. There are so many presidents that are too corrupt, and yet people have not cancelled the office. And sometimes, because of the 1, 2, 3 and some of the negativities of men of God, it looks as though people want to just shatter that ministry and let every man of God be fake, let every woman of God be corrupt, and it's not healthy, and so it's a responsibility for you as a believer to be committed to praying for your pastor every day, that they will be delivered from wicked and unreasonable men. What is normal? If it is about a pastor, it will not be normal. What people would want to hide, if it is about a pastor or a church, people want to blow it out of proportion. And so if you're a believer and you have the work of God at heart, you should be committed to praying for your pastor first, that he will always be delivered from wicked and unreasonable men. Unfortunately, it's not just like that in our days. You remember that even in the days of Jesus, even the disciples of Jesus, many of them and most of them were killed before their time just for preaching the gospel. I mean, what did Jesus himself even do for them to kill him? Do you know that there was a criminal, a murderer in the days of Jesus, but the people chose him over Jesus, that Jesus should rather be killed? And so know that if someone chooses the work of ministry, it's a responsibility they've chosen, it's a hard thing they've chosen, and so they need your prayer, they need your support. So pray for them that they will be delivered from wicked and unreasonable people. The second thing you should pray for when it has to do with your man of God, your prophet of God, your pastor, your reverend, the second thing has to do that the gospel they preach will have a free course in the heart of people. That the gospel they preach will have a free course. It is very important you come to the place of understanding that the devil does not want people to be saved. Sometimes you go to the field and you preach the gospel and preach, and people's hearts are so hardened, they don't want to give themselves to Christ. But all the time, believers must come together and pray that the message of the gospel will have a free course in the hearts of people. Sometimes you don't go for evangelism, and so pray that any time that men of God, especially your pastor, especially your prophet, they have the privilege to minister the gospel, let it have the free course in the heart of the people, that their words carry fire, that the gospel should be profitable in their lips. So that is the second thing you pray about. The third thing you should be praying about when you are dealing with your pastor, what are the things to pray about concerning your pastor? That their ministry will be accepted by the people they are called to. Listen to me, child of God. Every man of God has a reason why God called them into the ministry. And it becomes very important we get to the place where we know that yes, my pastor has been called for this and that, and whatever they have been called to do, you pray for them that their ministry will be accepted by the people they are called to. Sometimes it's very frustrating, sometimes it's very hard when a man of God knows what their purpose is, and yet the people are not embracing it. In John chapter 1, the Bible said Jesus came unto his own, but his own received him not. But as many as received him, and so many may reject the man of God, but there are specific people also who he has been called to. Very important that you pray that who they have been called to, they will minister to them, and the people will receive them well, and not just receiving them anyhow, but receiving him with honor, receiving him with reverence. And then the last but not the least, the last thing you should be praying for when you are talking about, when we're talking about your man of God, is that they will preach the gospel as they ought to preach the gospel. It is important you come to a place where you understand that sometimes, because of the vicissitudes of life can get men of God to a place where it becomes hard to be very honest with the gospel. Sometimes a man of God may go through so much that his experience will become his message, and that is not supposed to be the gospel at all. The experiences of men of God are not supposed to be the gospel they preach. The gospel is the infallible word of God that ought to be preached in season and out of season. But it's our prayers for them that will help them to be honest in preaching the gospel. I know many men of God who have gotten to a place and they don't even believe in the miraculous. Why? Sometimes it could be that they believed in it so much some time ago, and yet the opposite happened. Sometimes men of God get to a place where they don't believe that the God they serve is even a deliverer again. Why? Sometimes because of the things they've been through. And that is why it becomes very important that we get to the place where we understand and we know, very important, that our prayers for men of God are very essential in helping them to minister the gospel the way they ought to minister it. Sometimes experiences become so hard and so strong that they replace the gospel in the life of many people. And I always teach my sons and daughters that don't criticize someone you've not prayed for. Many times men of God find themselves into things and people are quick to criticize even without praying for them. And that is why it becomes very important that you spend time to pray, not just today for your pastor, but forever, every day. Make sure it becomes an addiction, it becomes a consistency, that you pray for your man of God. Very important. And this is the how of prayer, teaching people practical ways on how to pray concerning various issues. If you want to get in touch with me, you can send a message on WhatsApp on +233 240 545700. I love you. Stay blessed. Bye bye.
How to Pray series with Reverend Som Fianco.
Audio Jungle.